Okay, quick quiz. Name one thing more important than breathing. Trick question, nothing. That's what we want to touch on today, you know. So unless you're David Blaine, we can only live for a few minutes without air. Yet we go through our whole lives more or less not giving it a second thought, right? So what Kay and I want to touch on briefly today is one of many techniques that can help our bodies drop into sort of a healing mode and a regenerative mode, stemming back from the ancients, the Hindus, the shamans, the Native Americans, and so forth. And it involves breathing exercises. You know, the nervous system is sort of broken into two parts that are on a push and pull kind of balance beam, really. The sympathetic part of the nervous system and the opposite side, the parasympathetic. Sympathetic is what we know of as the fight or flight side of the nervous system, babes.
Right, or the get things done side.
Right. For instance, being awakened at 3 in the morning by breaking glass downstairs, maybe your window. What happens then? Your heartbeat immediately starts to race. Your eyes open wide. Your pulse rate pounds. Your breathing increases. You're ready to perform. You're ready to fight or flee or whatever. So that's a state of being that is not healing. That is action. And as you very well know, healing occurs the other end of the spectrum in the parasympathetic or calming and digestive and restive and restorative side of the nervous system.
Most of us don't access that part of our nervous system very often. We're mostly in get things done mode. We're in doing mode.
You know, we live in a world now that's loaded with stress wherever we turn, don't we? We're sitting at desks all day long on computers. We're not getting exercise. We're worried about the tax man, this current state of world affairs, whatever it might be, always tends to ramp up our central nervous system's sympathetic response, doesn't it?
Oh, exactly. And think about the pinging of your phone all the time. Every time your phone goes off, every time it pings at you, you suddenly stop what you're doing. You're on alert and you want to go look at that phone. So there's not a lot of space to relax. There's not a lot of space to just be.
So if we're to extend our lifespans into ripe old age in healthy cellular state, right? We need to find some time and some ability to drop into a nice state of nervous system activity or arousal that allows our body to rest and rejuvenate. Right? We need to drop our pulse rate, our blood pressure, our breathing. And when we do that, we can send all kinds of nervous system signals that relate to the healing response. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So for those of you who don't know, my honey Kay here is extremely well versed in the healing arts with respect to meditative and yoga. She was a yoga studio owner for 10 years. She studied in India in meditative work and yogis and traveled the world really learning these kinds of things. So I'm going to defer to you right now, babe.
Okay.
And maybe you can teach us one of my favorite breathing exercises that you taught me a couple of years ago, which we call square breathing, right?
Yes, yes. Square breathing it's in its simplicity, there's genius. And even when I was in India practicing, square breathing was one of the go-to breathing meditations that we would do. And we would use breath as a meditation to bring our mind, body, spirit system into a new state. And when you turn that focus inward and you slow everything down and you begin to breathe deeper, your body it's like opening up the gates of wellness. And then even by adding a focal point to the breath work, you can bring your awareness to prefrontal cortex so that's the place where you can make clear plans, you feel clearer, you can envision things, you can create things from this place. So to begin the breath, you'll just want to sit in a place where your spine is straight. So it just involves counting. So if you're going to inhale to the count of 5, you're going to hold to the count of 5, exhale to the count of 5, and then hold your breath out for the count of 5. And that's where the magic happens. When you're counting, so don't forget to count, because the counting part activates the part of your brain that wants to think. It wants to throw thoughts at you. And we really want to quiet that part down so that you can get still enough to listen to what that inner wisdom, the wisdom of your soul, so to speak, or that still inner voice that people talk about. Okay. All right. So to begin, first take a few cleansing breaths, because what you want to do is you want to expel all the air out of your lungs so that you can then inhale more deeply. All right. So we're just going to take a few cleansing breaths. So inhale. And then big exhale. And you can do it any way you like, opening your mouth and just letting it go, like a big sigh is good. And the rest of the breath is practice inhaling and exhaling through the nose, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so go ahead, and it's good to close your eyes and then focus your attention, your inner eyesight, at the bridge of your nose, between your eyebrows and the bridge of your nose. That's called the brow point. We call it a brow point. It's also the third eye, metaphysically speaking. And then now we're going to begin. So Dr. J, go ahead and begin inhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold your breath out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go ahead and repeat. The idea of this is lengthening out each segment in equal measure. So if you can get to 10, that would be really fantastic, because the yogis try to attain 1 breath per minute, which means that you would be using 15, a count of 15 for each of the 4 cycles. So it's a great way to affect great change. If you need to change something in your life, do this breath. It will really help. So if you'll notice, when I instructed him to hold his breath, Dr. J didn't puff out his cheeks and hold it like we do as maybe pouting children, right? We're not holding the breath like this. Okay, that increases your blood pressure, so you don't want to do that. You're going to hold your breath, and now I'm going to inhale, hold. And I'm holding, and I can still talk to you. My breath is held. I'm holding my breath, but the breath is held right here at the clavicle.
So it's just suspended, not
So it's suspended. You're not bringing your breath and holding it into your neck. So that will keep your blood pressure down and will actually help to reduce your blood pressure.
I find that if I can do this at lunchtime for 3 or 4 minutes,
Yep.
it's a total rejuvenation. My brain becomes clearer, and it really sets me up for the afternoon, babe. And it's really one of my favorite little things. And I know we've gone through a number of other techniques that are really neat too, but this is the one I find is the easiest to do. I can really do it in a crowded place or a quiet place, which is probably better. Yeah. But it's like a meditative thing for me, and I have to say, love it.
Yes, I do too. It's definitely one of my favorites, and it's a go-to, especially in the middle of the night when I wake up and can't get back to sleep because I'm thinking.
The thing is this, most of us go through our days not using what, 1/3 of our lung power?
Oh gosh,
you know,
shallow breathing, it's all up in here.
We need to get full oxygenation of our tissues. How do we do that? It is filling the lungs with pure oxygen, and that then is picked up by the bloodstream and shuttled out to the cells and so forth. So it's really nice to cleanse that sort of dead air space for a while, and at least once a day doing the square breathing or other breathing techniques, which maybe you can help us through some other time.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be phenomenal.
I have a big bag full.
Thank you so much, babe, and until we meet again, in vibrant health, you guys.
Vibrant health.